The Us. Always ready to learn. Tune into 1873 FM. Your voice, your power.
Yes, indeed. It is the 1873 FM, your voice, your power, your voice on issues that matter, your power to inspire new thinking, new outcomes, and new possibilities. And this is the Santon Express morning show, your one and only show where, as individuals, we get to have open, frank, and honest conversations in shaping and defining the character and personality of the future you want, the future that I want, the future we all want collectively. And talking about the future I want, joining me this morning in conversation as we continue just the power of storytelling. I'm joined none other by Simo Sihle Muhlon Minsqua. Yes, who happens to be a founder of Simo Trading Pty Limited. Simo, a wonderful morning to you, and thank you so much for giving up time to be on the 1873 FM so that you can just share with our listeners, with our viewers, your story this morning.
Good morning, Tinesh, and good morning to the listeners as well.
Well, thank you so much for your time, and more importantly, for availing yourself so that you can actually be able to just to share with our listeners, with our viewers, our story. Unfortunately, they cannot get to see your face, and nonetheless, they can be able just to hear how 2019 has been for you as an individual since our last conversation on radio, where we were actually having conversations around women who happen to be in business like yourself. So, if you could just care to just tell your story, how 2019 has been for you so far, and more importantly, when you look at your business, the line of business that you are in, how radio has also played a part in you advancing yourself as an individual.
Okay, thank you, Tinesh, for this opportunity. Let me first correct on this. It's Simosihle Mhlonitshwa. So I think I have to send a bill for calling my surname incorrectly. However, my 2019 was very great. I've learned a lot in the business industry. As in my business, I'm into trading, forex trading, binary trading. I'm also into construction and catering as well. And I think it was last year when you, Tinesh, you interviewed me and asked about am I in an association? And I was like, no, I'm not in an association. That was last year. But this year, we managed to register a association, which the 1873 FM has inspired us to gather as business people in the Eastern Cape so that we can share information and exchange just ideas on how to update or how to expand the business industry. However, the 1873 FM has helped us a lot. For instance, one of the partners in our association is from Johannesburg. He said that he heard us from the radio when we interviewed, and then he showed some interest. So the 1873 FM also had an impact in our association and also in my business.
Wow, that's lovely to hear that through this platform you actually inspired to do something in the year of 2019, and you managed to actually build a network around yourself. That is an association that you have actually started within Eastern Cape, that yourself and others who happen to be in business, who happen to be in trading, can be able just to share ideas and, more importantly, share personal experiences in as far as advancing themselves. So now, just looking at what you have actually managed to do, and if we were to look at the association that you have started, how big is your association? How many individuals form part of your association that you managed to establish as a result of the conversation that you had on the 1873 FM radio?
The time we started the association, we were 10, but now we are at 45.
45 of you.
And other members of the association got hold of us through the radio station, through the interview that you conducted.
Wow. So if you just look at the interview that I had with you, and it was not just one interview, not just one conversation, we had quite a number of conversations. The impact of those conversations, the feedback that you got from other individuals. What sort of feedback did you get from other individuals based on the conversations that we had on the 1873 FM?
Firstly, they the feedback that I got is that sharing, I think I've said this before, that if you want to go far, you have to go in a group, you have to go with people. Then if you, and it also helps you to move from the comfort zone and be able to speak out. Because if you just sit down and think that everything is well with you or with your business, but you don't speak out, it's not going to take you anywhere.
Wow. And as we wrap up the conversation, I know you are actually busy with something at the moment that you need to get back to. Your last words to our viewers, your last words to our listeners, your words of inspiration that you can share with them this morning. What would it be that you have to share with our listeners as well as our viewers this morning on the 1873 FM?
Okay. What I can say to be it in the corporate world or in the business world, is that never give up. If things don't, if there is a fog, if you see a fog in front of you and think that now it's over, just don't give up. Just wait for the fog to fade away, then continue with your journey. It's not gonna be easy. Nothing is easy, and no one said it's gonna be a walk in the park. You just have to know what you want to do, and you have to have the zeal and dedication of whatever that you want to do.
Fantastic. Well, on that note, Simo, it's been a pleasure having a conversation with you, and certainly thank you so much for just taking time just to share your experiences of 2019 and how the conversations that you have engaged on the 1873 platform have had an impact in your life, and more importantly in your line of business, enabling you to build a network around yourself that you can actually bank on in as far as advancing yourself. And talking about banking on other individuals, as Tinashe, I can also bank on you, Simo, as that one individual that I can also turn to just to be able to tell their stories. And in storytelling, so much can be learned from that. We tend to often underestimate the power of storytelling, just sharing what one has actually been up to and how that has actually had an impact within their community. And that being said, it brings to me sharing with you about the Banking on Africa's Future 10,000 Points of Lights initiative that is being powered by the 1873 FM, and as members of the 1873 network, and as an individual as Tinashe, I seek to build also my bank around this ideal of having individuals that I can be able to rely on, especially where I do not have the requisite skills, where I do not have the expertise or talents that I do not actually have. I do not regret that, but rather surround myself with such. You happen to be well versed with trading, so I can bank on you when it comes to the aspect of trading. And what we seek to do is to build this community of 10,000 individuals, 10,000 people who can actually be able to share ideas, who can be able to exchange personal experiences and insights in shaping the kind of future that they want. And you are actually my nominee to the Banking on Africa's Future 10,000 Points of Lights, and your both ID being BOAF 638. That's your Banking on Africa's Future ID number, BOAF 638.
Okay.
Well, on that note, Simo, you have yourself a lovely day further.
Thank you, Tinesh, and thank you to the listeners, and thank you to the 1873 family.
You are one of us. I'm saying you are one of us.
Oh, I'm a family, I'm a family. I belong to the 1873 FM.
Yes.
That's my home.
Yes, indeed. Okay, you have yourself a lovely day further.
Thank you, Tinesh. Thank you to the listeners. Bye.
Okay. All right. So, Munya, good morning to you. Glad to know that you're also tuned in and you are listening. Good morning to, I don't know which Facebook user is that. He was asking, so basically asking, what is Simo talking about? We just got here, and it seems like Simo has actually finished, or rather has Simo had concluded what she had to share. So basically, Simo was just sharing of how the conversations on radio have been of a great impact to herself as well as her business. She states that the first conversation that I had with her challenged her as an individual to actually become part of an association, to become part of a network, something that she was never part of before we had a conversation on the 1873 radio platform. So she was just basically sharing how these conversations have also opened doors of opportunity for her, and how other individuals have come to learn of the association that they've started in the Eastern Cape, that she happens to be the chairperson of, in as far as people who happen to be in a business, or individuals who happen to be in business, get to share their experiences, get to share insights, and also get to exchange ideas. So Facebook user, please identify yourself so that we also get to know you, and so that you can also get to share your experiences on your favorite channel of choice, that is the 1873 FM. On that note, let's quickly go on a short break. Keep it locked on the 1873 FM, your voice, your power.
Download our app on the Google Play Store and iOS. 1873 FM.
From 1873 to present, and introspect to your heritage.
Can we say behind every successful woman is a lazy nigga? I don't know. What do you say?
No, definitely not. I think behind every successful woman is another successful woman.
Oh, I like
So I
that.
definitely think that women look out for each other. There's a misconception that we're always attacking each other or something. But I definitely think that we do tend to look after each other.
Definitely.
One piece of advice I always give to young people is that they need to understand how finances work.
Empowering the mind, enriching the nation. 1873 FM.
Many times we see ourselves not knowing how we got here. We look around and turn around, no answers for the questions. Many times we see ourselves not knowing how we got here. We look around and turn around, no answers for the questions. Forgetting the time we took for granted, forgetting the moments spent in doubt, forgetting the time we took for granted, forgetting the moments spent in doubt. And now we're ready to do things differently. Through valley of time, through valley of moment, taking no chances. With the power of grace, we know our future can be better. Now we're ready to do things differently. Through valley of time, through valley of moment, taking no chances. With the power of grace, we know our future can be better. Can you show me the enemy of a man? Is the man in the mirror pointing hands to others? The reckless times undermine our future, often leave us depressed and confused. Now we're ready to do things things differently. Through valley of time, through valley of moment, taking no chances. With the power of grace, we know our future can be better. Now we're ready to do things differently. Through valley of time, through valley of moment, taking no chances. With the power of grace, we know our future can be better. When we know through valley of time, we'll open up our eyes to see the promising future. We can make that difference now. Make the change. Now we're ready to do things differently. Through valley of time, through valley of moment, taking no chances. The power of grace, we know our future can be better. With the power of grace, we know our future can be better. Power of grace, we know future can be better. With the power of grace, we know our future can be better.
1873 FM.
I want to find out what it is that you have done for the people of Angola so far. I mean, you want to be the change that you want to see. So what change? Because we can sit here and talk about all the problems Angola has and all the problems Africa has.
I'm not just here to paint badly
Yes, of course.
our current government, but we also have some aims. And one of them, talking politically, is that we want to give back, what we are calling citizenship back to them. What I mean by that? What I mean is that in Angola, unfortunately, and I think this is a problem of most African countries, is like, if you are not a holder of a membership of the current party.
Concerning the inviting people to come to Angola, people are complaining concerning the visa. Put your passport in the embassy. Sometimes it takes 1 month or 2 months for you to get the visa. Once you're in the government, are you going to work on that?
Thank you for the question, Mr. Benjamin. What we assist is that one can submit his visa application and he can stay for 2 or 3 months. Once, he's a businessman. He has a lot of activities. We also want to change this bureaucratic way of treating people who are interested to go in Angola,
Naleli Baltina and Tinashe and Pasiri.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at 1873FM. Hashtag 1873FM.
Well, this is the 1873 FM, your voice, your power, and this is the Santon Express morning show with your host, Tinashe Pasiri. And as we continue with open, frank, and honest conversations on subjects that matter, on issues that matter, President Ryan Victor Caricade, he's asking, can I start my own conversation? Maybe it might also help me. Definitely, yes, President Ryan Victor Caricade, you can actually be able to also just share your story on the 1873 FM platform. So I've actually shared a link that you can simply click on. Then you can also be part of the conversation so that you can be able to share your story. You never know in sharing your story who could be listening and the impact that it could have on other individuals. On LinkedIn, just following some of the comments that are coming through, Ronnie Masela also wants to be added to the 10,000 points, Banking on Africa's future 10,000 points of light. To make a necessary impact. Ronnie, I'm definitely going to get hold of you shortly so that we can also have a conversation with you so that you can just be able to share your story so that people get to know who you are, what you do, and more importantly, how coming together as individuals, when our minds meet on the kind of future we want, how we can all be able to make a difference in the communities that we happen to be in. So also have comments coming in from Enver Adams. Says, hi everyone, allow me to introduce myself. I'm a newly appointed CEO for ISC networks. I'm looking for black-owned transport companies to connect with me. So if you happen to be in the logistics business and you are watching from wherever you happen to be, and you want to, and you're looking for ways that you can be able to also grow your business, to expand your business, and more importantly, be able to make a difference, well, then this is your platform to connect with individuals such as Enver Adams, who are looking for other individuals to be connected to. That's the whole aspect of the Banking on Africa's Future 10,000 Points of Light, such that when you look for these individuals who are in the transport business, who are in the logistics business, you find them within this portal, within this community, within this bank of ours. So President Ryan, drop me your contact number, then I can drop you a link so that we can be able to have a conversation. We can have a conversation with you this morning on the 1873 FM, your platform for conversations that matter. On that note, as we get to go into the next segment, stay tuned to the 1873 FM and tell a friend to also follow the 1873 FM that is on Facebook as well as on Twitter. And yes, the Poetry Master Plan finally published. Then what is left is for it to be implemented. Pretty much excited about the document that is now publicly available, and I'm sure it should be on the internet anytime today. But if I manage to get it before it's posted on the internet, I'll definitely be able to share on the 1873 FM platform that is on Facebook with you, so that you can get to also dig into it to better understand the Poetry Master Plan. On that note, let's go on a short break. Keep it locked on your channel of choice, the 1873 FM, your voice, your power.
Yeah, ooh, yeah, yeah. When we realized this, we all knew we were heading for something, someplace. Ooh, where wise have never been. It frightens us that we never understood the true value of time. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Ooh. Now we are ready to learn, oh yeah, of the power of grace. Without we would not be where we are today. Now we are ready to learn, oh yeah, of the power of grace. Without we would not be where we are today. Now we're ready to learn of the power of grace. Without we would not be where we are today. Yeah. It's cloaked in from Haiti 73 Network. Yeah. Ooh, yeah.
It's Big Ben. Check. The power of grace, a blessing to the human race. Determination, you can see it in my face. Forever certain, no such thing as just in case. With God by my side, I'm never feeling out of place. The message he delivers, people try to erase, but that will never come to pass. So hit the brakes and make no mistake, cause you cannot replace divine intervention. That could never be the case. Through 1873, I'm headed to a place our minds have never been. I've been on the road since I was 17. Now I'm headed to a place our eyes have never seen. Now I understand the value of time. Never waste any of it, but capitalize. Quite ready to learn now that the past is behind. Never underestimate something so divine.
Now we are ready to learn of the power of grace. Without we would not be where we are today. Now we are ready to learn of the power of grace. Without we would not be where we are today. Now we are ready to learn of the power of grace. Without we would not be where we are today. Yes. All right. I want you to feel this. Look. Said when we realized this, we all knew we were headed for greatness. So I guess it only makes sense to share our grace with the old and the infants. So through this power that we granted, spreading the Lord's love through the galaxy and planet. It's kinda obvious that they don't understand it, or we gon' get the demand and our people needing more planet. Now we know the true power of grace, although a few people ain't down or willing to chase. See, they be feeling this grace through the treble and bass. Africa need a new face. Young niggas speak the truth in a rhyme, only if we understand the true value of time. Listen, my people, you never undermine the power of grace when you're out there on your grind. So let me take you someplace you never been, seen a type of struggle no man has ever seen. Always up on your television screen, so living that's pristine, been struggling since 16. Now, I'm that man in the mirror. Quick, look twice, begin to see it clearer. Now, my dreams is getting narrower. I'm tired of living in terror, changing me for the better.
I'm ready to learn, ready to learn, ready to learn. I'm ready to learn, ready to learn, ready to learn.
Yes, I am ready to learn. Indeed, ready to learn about the power
Ready to
of
learn.
storytelling. And right about now, on the other end of the line, I happen to be joined by Ryan. Ryan, a wonderful morning to you, and thank you so much for giving up time to be on the 1873 FM this morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Well, pretty much excited to have you on the other end of the line, and more importantly, that
Thank
you are
you.
actually inspired, you are actually ignited to tell your story, to share your story with our listeners this morning on the 1873 FM. But before we get into the conversation, what do you think of the track that I was playing, The Power of Grace?
Well, that's a very powerful track, to be honest. It's inspiring, it's motivational, it's uplifting. It sends a very clear message, which just, it speaks to the soul to say, be ready, and nothing can.
Hello? Hello, Ryan? Hello, Ryan, can you hear me? Okay, I think I'm losing Ryan there. There should be, it's supposed to be, I think it's a network issue, but hopefully you'll be able to reconnect. But good morning to Stanley Dube, MC Wildfire. Good morning to Justice Becky Zulu Sifelani. And good morning to you, Paul Holland, CEO at Blue Revolution. Glad to know that you're also tuned in and you're loving the conversation. And yes, feel free to also add your voice, particularly to this conversation that we are having particularly when you look at the power of storytelling. So Munya Shonai says, unfortunately for me, I wanted to be part of the pioneers but could not get my application processed due to my geographical position. Not to worry, Munya, that is being taken care of, and you are still a pioneer. The fact that you are doing something about it is what makes a difference, because at the end of the day, as individuals, what makes a difference is what we do. And the fact that you have showed up and done something about it, it has also enabled us to realize some of the technicalities that ought to be sorted out. But nonetheless, never give up. For the words of inspiration from Simo this morning, as she was just sharing her story, she said, one thing that I leave the listeners with, one thing that I leave the viewers with, is to never give up on anything. So despite the challenges that you have faced, don't give up. Continue doing what you are doing, and continue just sharing your story with many others. So yes, hopefully we'll be able to reconnect with Ryan so that he can be able to continue sharing with us how his 2019 has been thus far, and more importantly, how being part of this conversation has also, played a pivotal role in whatever he's doing. And just to talk about the power of how storytelling can take an individual from one level to the next level. So yes, this is your platform as an individual to be connected. It is through these conversations that how it is through such conversations how an individual ends up being connected to other individuals. But if you just keep to yourself, if you don't tell your story, nobody will ever know about you or what you do. But in sharing your story, other individuals can get to know of you and what you do. Okay, so on that note, let's quickly go on a short break and we'll be back shortly. Also, I've seen Enver Adams has also shared his contacts as well on LinkedIn, so we can also be able to have a conversation with him. So keep it locked as we continue with these open, frank, and honest conversations on your channel of choice, the 1873 FM, your voice, your power.
73 FM.
I want to find out what it is that you have done for the people of Angola so far. I mean, you want to be the change that you want to see. So what change? Because we can sit here and talk